What's up?
Good evening.
Yes, yes. It is another one.
Very
Party
late.
people.
11:53 a.m. or p.m., which means we are just now hitting. We're still consistent with Friday. Only 7 minutes left,
Right.
but we started on Friday. So there goes the consistency.
Yeah, buddy.
It's been a very long week. Very long.
Yeah, this week has been a lot. I
Mhm.
must say. I must say.
Mhm. But anyways, no time to waste. Ready to jump in?
Let's go.
All right. Who, what, where, when, and why?
Let's go.
Okay, so I'm thinking what and why.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, what is it and why does it happen?
Right.
So, obviously, the title of this episode is Crab Mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so, first off, what do you think crab mentality is?
What do I think it is,
Yeah.
or what do
What are your
people think it
what are your thoughts? I
is?
don't care about people. What is what
um.
do you think?
I mean, I don't know. Actually, I
You have
don't
no
know.
thoughts of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay,
mean, what,
when
what do
you
you what do you
hear
think?
I'm saying
What do you
when you
think?
hear the words crab mentality, speak. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Um,
What is a crab? And what would it be to think like one?
well, crabs are very mean individuals. They're really mean and they're snappy.
Okay.
So snappy individuals who like to keep to themselves and harbor everything for themselves. I mean, that's what crabs do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They keep to themselves. Crabs
Yeah,
be in a barrel.
they're in the barrel because they was taken from their habitat.
Sure. I mean, nobody really sits around and watches crabs.
Right. But I did, so I'm a little bit of a nerd. Just a little bit.
That's a whole nother follow up. Okay, so I have a website in front of me called projectlotus.org.
Hmm.
What is crab mentality? So when a crab is in a bucket, it tries to escape. Other crabs instinctively try to drag it back down. All the crabs can escape easily from the bucket, but instead, they grab and pull each other down in a competitive manner, preventing any of them from escaping. It's similar to many Asian cultures tend to promote this type of hindering behavior. I'm just reading.
Right.
Through both an American and Asian culture, reinforced by our family and society, we are taught to think that there only can be one successful person in the room. That we have to judge each other or drag them down to feel better about ourselves.
Right.
So the point of crab mentality or the motto associated with the mentality is if I can't have it, neither can you. So now what are your thoughts on crab mentality?
Um, I mean, it's partially what I was saying, but then it's also the the aggression of needing to be at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Instead of just being okay with being who you are.
Amongst yeah,
Yeah. Like I said to you the
and
other day, I said, as a singer, why do I have to tell somebody else they suck as a singer in order for me to consider myself a good one?
right,
If you like music, you like hundreds of singers.
right,
So you're not going to just play one. You're going to play all of them.
right,
So,
right. Yeah, yeah. That's why it's like when people when people ask me like, oh, so what genre of music do you do? Do you do that rap music or you do that country music? I'm like, well,
you just
I
had to
mean,
use a voice.
I had to use the voice.
The voices you don't like.
It's yeah. It's because I mean I do all genres, and because I love all genres, and there's like I'm genuinely in love with all genres. There's something about every genre that that really grabs me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So I'm not just stuck in one box in one
Mm-hmm.
hole. And sometimes people feel like you have to be, or you should be, or you're not good enough. You know what I mean?
Okay. So how does that pertain to a crab mentality?
Well, I mean, it pertains to me not being, you know, stuck on one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a crab mentality basically, once again, is you feel like in order for you to be great, you have to push somebody else down. So
Hmm.
how does that affect you liking more than one genre of music?
No, I wasn't saying, I wasn't talking about that in a sense. I was just saying that, you know, how people always want to just put you in a box just with one thing. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, you know what I mean? I'm just broad, pretty much. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Broadened out.
gotcha.
What are your thoughts on anything?
I feel like I pretty much gave them. I mean, it's definitely a situation where we live in a world where it's like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's propaganda. At the end of the day, when there's a competition, there can only be one winner.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing
Mm-hmm.
about it is that's ingrained in culture in general.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
It's
have
like
to
we're
actually
raised
break
to,
free of it. You have to break free of societal pressures in
right,
order to take yourself out of the crab mentality in general.
right. But how do you have a positive competitive, um, you know, experience without getting into a crab mentality sense? You know what I mean?
You actually focus on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can only be in a crab mentality when you're focused on other people. If I
Okay.
don't care about
Yeah.
how good you are, I can see you and be like, hey, I can take this little thing and this little thing and it'll make me
Mm-hmm.
better.
Right.
I don't have
Right.
to be worried about making sure you don't win.
Right.
Because in my mind, I'm always winning because I'm
Right.
only in competition with myself.
Right. And bettering self
Mm-hmm.
and internally, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, that's society does do that. It literally trains us to compete. It trains us to have to be better than. So when people are looking at stuff or watching people on like Instagrams and all that stuff, it's like the mindset is I need to be better than them. I need to do what they're doing to try to go on top instead of just focusing on your own thing. Focus on you. Be the best you can be, and stand out that way. Not,
However,
you know.
if you don't ever put yourself in a position to be around other people who are better than you, then you will
Hmm.
sit there and continue to just be the same mediocre version of yourself
Well,
too.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's another
That's amongst, yeah,
bad
that's
thing.
right, right. Because you have to, I mean, that's the whole part of the process in focusing on self is paying attention to those who are actually doing what you do, but on a different scale or where you want
Or
to
better.
be, or what I'm saying, like your success, what you see successful, that's who you look at. You look
Mm-hmm.
at them, and then that's how you model things. But I'm talking about the people with the mindset of, I need to be better than them. You know,
Mm.
that's that whole thing.
Yeah, that's all attached to low self esteem as well.
Yeah,
Because if you
that's
don't know
true.
who you are, then you feel like
This is true.
instead of knowing that red, blue, green, orange, purple are all colors,
Hmm.
but none is better than the other, it's just a preference, then you understand that each person is the same way. Nobody's better than anyone else as a whole, as an existence.
Hmm.
It's just, hey, this person may be better at this skill. I may be able to learn this thing that
Right.
made them better at this skill so I can further hone in on my skills and be
Right.
a better version of me.
Do you think that there's a such thing as a internal low self-esteem and an external low self-esteem?
What do you mean?
Like there's like two different types of low self-esteem. Like someone can have a high internal self-esteem and a low external self-esteem, and vice versa. Do you think that that is a thing? Meaning like I know I know my mind. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I do in this things and this whatever, but then also have the physical, meaning how you look and
Oh, you mean like
so there's a there's
So you feel a
because
certain
when
way
you say
about
low
your
self-esteem, it's broad, is way
right,
bigger
like how
than
you feel
just
physically versus how you
one
feel
way.
about who you are on the inside.
Yes.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. I mean,
Yeah.
you can say I have a great personality, but you can be like, but physically I'm not attractive. Like, people have those two different things. However, to say you're physically unattractive means you're not focused on you, because all you're doing is projecting and looking at everyone else and comparing yourself to them, instead of knowing that unless you, like, had some type of a physical trauma happen to
Right.
tear up your face or something, one person could be extremely attractive to someone, and the next thing would be like, actually, I have no physical attraction to that person. One person can be like,
Or it changes.
Oh my God,
It alters.
he's so gorgeous, and she could be like, he's not cute at all.
Yeah.
For the same
Yeah.
person.
Preference.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Physical is a preference. And so the thing about it is, the definition of attractive physically versus not is whether or not you take care of yourself, and whether or not you have put yourself in a position to be the healthiest version of you.
Right.
So I don't even think you can even judge that unless you can say, yes, I have, to those two questions. If you're not the best version of yourself health-wise,
yeah,
then you shouldn't even be worried about whether or not you're attractive to someone, because it's like, you're not even you yet.
Right. And
like, who are you at this point?
And the reason why I say that is because I think there's some people who are so focused on one and not the other.
Well, that's because they're airbrushing it. They're not even creating it.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah.
That's like, basically, well, we live in a world right now where people buy really nice wrapping paper and they wrap up like boxes of doo-doo with like
did you have to go there?
$200 wrapping
Did you have
paper
to go there?
and really nice bows, or what they think are really nice bows, but it still smells like boo-boo under there.
Why? Why are we doing that?
I'm just saying.
You say boo-boo. Like,
it does. It still stinks under
like,
there.
why do you have to say it?
So what are we doing? Instead of, wrapping up like the finest unrefined shea butter or something. I don't know.
Okay, shea butter.
Shea butter. Something, good.
Well, once again, though, that is also to a preference in a sense.
Well, and it's
what if somebody likes the boo-boo?
No, it's not about that. It goes back to the competition, especially for women. Women are in competition to be seen by men. So it's like, what can I do quickly? I can quickly put on a wig. I can quickly throw on 12 pounds of makeup, and I can quickly get his attention right now. Versus saying, hey, let me take 6 months to a year, go into the closet, and become the best version of me, and come out and become something that will have the level of longevity that once you have someone's attention, you actually keep it, versus it being something you only have for a little while.
Temporary.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
this is good.
Just my thoughts.
This is good.
It's probably exhausting. I mean, at the end of the day, who wants to wake up in the morning and feel like they gotta go like fix themselves in order to look like what they presented to somebody they was on a date with last week, versus being like, this is me in the raw. You know what I mean? If we go swimming, if we go play tennis, if we go hiking, if we go to dinner, all of those things, I'm the same person.
And it's so funny that we're talking about the crab mentality, but then we ended up in a self-esteem bowl, and it's like
connected.
Exactly. But how many things go back to the self-esteem bowl? There's so many things. Like,
there's so many things you won't do if you know who you are. Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, that bowl is deep. That bowl is deep. And even those people who have that mentality and then they are pulling the other person down, then they get to the top. If they still have that low self-esteem underlyingly, they don't even know half the time that they have that low self-esteem.
Or that they made it to the top.
And then what? Then what? Do you know that you're going to be happy once you make it?
No, you won't be, because the top won't be satisfying. That's why you see people,
Right.
you see these celebrities that like
Constantly.
commit suicide and things like that. And you're like, what could she possibly be dealing with?
Yeah. 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 That happens, it seems, often.
Very.
You know, like, well, he had everything. He was just so happy. Or I saw the, and then that goes to that a lot of times people just don't know what you're actually going through. You know what I mean? Like, you could wear a nice suit every day and have a ripped up shirt under. You know, I remember we had that
in the suit.
Yeah.
That you're good, but you're not.
Right.
That's
Right.
That's just your mask.
Yep. And it goes with good people and bad people.
Yep, bad people put on the mask of smiling all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And
even
They
giving,
wish you
look, giving and charity,
and all of that,
and all this stuff.
When in the back, they're just like,
yeah,
terrible.
Yep.
And then a lot of good people are angry and they can't mask it.
Yeah,
because they're struggling.
Right, because they want to do actual good and they can't.
So you really have to actually get to know people.
Tough.
Give people time to show you who they are. Because it's not always what it seems.
Right.
And you never know when you're dealing with a crab.
Right.
You know, as you can see from their actions.
Yeah, you start to get it eventually, but then it's like, you know.
Trust is truly earned.
Right.
And so you can't trust someone after a couple of weeks. You know, it's like you have to truly, and you don't have to, trust doesn't mean you're being kind to someone. Like, people kill me with that too, because it's almost like, why are you being nice to this person? Like, just because I want to treat someone the way I would want to be treated does not mean I trust them. Right. I can sit there and
be cordial,
tell a joke, share a good word I heard. That doesn't mean I trust you.
Oh man, that's daily right there. That is day to day.
Yeah, trust is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Because trust me, I've been in those situations where you have like conversation with someone, have a good conversation, spend lots of time with people like that, and you know, do a lot of work with these people, and then they will literally stab you right in your back.
I have another perspective too, because I deal with this one, unfortunately, when it comes to crab mentality. Excuse me, sorry. Thanks. Yeah, the rest of my water. There's another type of crab mentality I experience when people, and I don't know if it's, sometimes people see you striving for peace and it's triggering for them or something, but I deal with a lot of situations where I'm striving for my peace and the people around me want me to be bothered by things that don't bother me.
Okay.
And so I see that as another type of crab mentality.
Now,
because it's like, how dare you be free of this stress? You must be stressed with me.
Yes. Now say it again, say it again in like a compact way.
I personally experienced this in my professional life.
Okay.
Just being in the position I'm in, where people feel that I should be just as bothered by things as they are, and if I'm not, I'm being dismissive of how they feel, when in reality, all I can do is be objective, but I do have the right to protect my own peace. So I can't sit there and let something fester and bother me that isn't bothering me just because it's bothering you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
You have
so
to
like
protect
people
your energy.
like if something makes someone mad, like you'd be like, she said this, but it's okay, she said that. How dare you not be upset that she said that? And it's like, well, because my peace matters more to me than anything she said. Right. But that just makes me feel like you don't care. And it's like, well, you get that kind of a conversation that now brings stress into your life. That is a big conversation,
like, because there's people who are very on the lines of I don't want to say that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it you know, there's those who are more sensitive than others, and that affects them highly,
Yes.
highly,
And because they're affected, they feel like they have to make everybody else affected.
right,
And that is
right.
so toxic.
And that is a way that they pull you down
Pull you
to where
down,
they are and they're hurt.
i.e. crab
And then they
mentality.
make you feel hurt as
Yes.
well. Or they won't stop until you feel just as hurt as they do.
Exactly.
That's
Like a
really the thing.
punishment.
Yeah, and now you're
That they
sitting there.
punishing you for not being.
Now you over
so
here
sensitive.
crying with them, and you don't even know why you sad.
Exactly.
Because
Because nothing's actually bothering you.
You took the pill.
Exactly.
Okay, you took the pill. You know what I mean? They kept feeding you,
Yes.
and you kept taking it.
Yes.
And that sucks. So that really does.
It really does suck, and it just adds stress,
Mm-hmm.
and it puts you in a position where you can't be the best version of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's
Yeah.
a very toxic type of crab mentality that
Yes.
people don't. It's indirect.
Yes.
It's very indirect because the thing about it is, it almost like melts in between this middle place of being like, you're not being there for me. But it's like, but by being there for you, I have to kill me. Just like the song by Vapors. Just by what did it say?
Mm-hmm.
Just by dang, I can't even remember the words.
Mm-hmm.
Just by gaining you.
Gaining you.
I'm losing
I'm
me.
losing me. Losing, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing
Just
about
by
it is,
gaining you, losing me. Yep.
so basically by
Yeah.
being there for you and how you're feeling,
Yeah.
I'm killing my chi. And
Right.
I've
Right.
reached a point in my life where killing my chi actually affects me physically.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not doing that for anyone. So if you feel I don't hear your feelings, please find someone else to hear them for you.
I trust me, I understand that whole thing.
And that goes into the friendship thing. That's why I don't do friends the way other people do, because I can't afford, like physically, emotionally, psychologically, I can't afford any liabilities on my chi.
Right.
So
Right.
that's why I don't do friends.
And
At the moment.
what's going to save everyone, even, it'll save the crabs, it'll save the sensitive ones,
The dolphins.
it'll
and
save
lions and-
it'll tigers and bears. It'll save everyone is if everyone have their level of acceptance and just mind their business. When I say that, I mean just focus on self. Because it's like, that hurt me, and then now, okay, well, I hate that you're hurt. Absolutely. And I genuinely hate that you're hurt.
Compassion.
Right.
But empathy is a whole different word.
Right. And, but that wouldn't hurt me. You know what I mean? That would not hurt me. And my thing is them having acceptance that, well, they're different than I am. Yeah. We can't just say that nowadays. You can't just be, well, they're just, we can't be like that.
Yeah.
Because then you're insensitive.
Yeah.
Then you're mean. Then you're, aggressive, because that could be an aggressive thing to some people.
It's like, for example, compassion versus empathy. Okay. So compassion, a lot of times, is, like, I feel sorry for the fact that you're suffering. Empathy is, I'm going to share in your suffering.
Yes.
Empathy is what I will not do.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I will have compassion, but I will not suffer with you.
Right.
I'm not suffering for anyone who's not my child.
Yes.
Or a direct loved one that I make that decision for. No one else.
Right. Right.
So I will have compassion for you, but I will not suffer for you. Absolutely not.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. I understand that. Definitely understand that.
And there's a big difference between those two things. So, well, I guess that wraps up the what and why of who, what, where, when, and why. So we can keep it deep.
True, that covered the who's too.
The yous,
the crabs
whys,
out there.
The nevers and the evers. So why don't we head over to Twin Flame Energy.
Twin flame energy. Twin flame energy. Twin flame energy.
All right. Not a quiet storm says.
So what I have written down for twin flame energy today is a brief discussion, pretty brief, blah, between the difference between life partnership and
Mhm.
marriage.
Okay.
So, when you think about those two things, what do you think are the distinct differences?
Between a life partner and a marriage.
Just life partnership and marriage. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, life partner, I feel like they genuinely gel. They genuinely, um, don't have to try too hard for things to work, for things to be smooth and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage sometimes can come off as a transaction,
Mm-hmm.
an agreement and a contract and a, business arrangement. Because all that stuff is, arranged in a way,
Ooh,
and that's somebody sleepy. But yeah, no, that's my take on the differences.
Yeah.
But there's good in both, only in a sense of how you look at it. And I will say, you can have a life partner in a marriage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You
It's
can.
all about your mindset,
Absolutely.
though.
And that's why, like, do I feel that marriage is like, oh, the so important and end all be all? Should we go sign that paper together? No, absolutely not. But in certain aspects where you're creating certain things together, you know what I mean? The world has to see something. And sometimes you have to, put stuff down. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. The only positive
like a driver's license.
of marriage is all the legal stuff
Yeah.
that you get from it.
Right.
Now, as two people who are actually legally married,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't see it's for me, what
Mhm.
I think the difference
Mm-hmm.
is making a decision
Mm-hmm.
that you want this person to be the witness to your life as a whole
Mm-hmm.
versus I want to be owned. Marriage
Right.
is like a ownership
Yeah.
energy. Words have energy. Like, let's not
Yeah.
sugarcoat that shit
course it
for 1
does.
second. So the thing about it is the energy of marriage is ownership
Mm-hmm.
and telling someone what they can and cannot do and putting certain expectations on people that are necessarily not fair
Mm-hmm.
and don't allow people to grow, change, and evolve.
Right.
That is the energy of marriage.
Right.
The energy of life partnership is I see you as my person. I want to see you grow. I want to see you evolve. I want to see you change. I want to see the best version of yourself. And I'm here
Yeah.
to be a support system to you as you do that. Whether that means you have to go to Bora Bora for 6 months for yourself and
Mhm.
come back.
Mm-hmm.
I can live and trust in the idea that I'm your person, you're my person, and we will be each other's witness to our lives
Mm-hmm.
for the long haul.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do to shoo me away unless you decide to speak literally to me and say, I no longer want you to be my witness.
Mm.
You get what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Right.
Versus marriage is like, well, here is the list of stipulations. These are all the things you can do in order for
Right.
this to be in breach of contract
Yeah.
of what we have going on.
Yeah.
There's something romantic about marriage.
That's why when those who we gotta hurry up and get married, we gotta hurry up and do it, and then it's like you barely even found if that person, and on a good sense, you haven't even found if that person is someone who can handle business, who can handle certain things, make the right decisions, change the right. It's like they have that little puppy love stage, and then it's like they go into, marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like first find out if this is for me. I would say first find out if that is your life partner.
Mm-hmm.
First find out if that is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Find out if you actually care
Mm-hmm.
about that person.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just love, care.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference. You know what I mean? It's a
Mhm.
big difference. So find that out first. Then once you mark that off, and you can say, you know what, now I guess legally,
And And most
Not
people,
not important to if we were on our own island, absolutely not. But because we are in the confinement of a you know by law kind of situation, owned by everyone else but ourselves in this country, it's kind of a thing. You
And
know,
most
it
people-
becomes a thing.
most people actually do not have the stomach for
Mhm.
or are strong enough to actually be in a life partnership.
Right.
You have to be very
Right.
weak to get married.
Y-
I'm sorry
there you
to
go.
say that out loud.
There you go. There you
But
go.
you can be a really weak individual just to get married. You have
Right.
to be very strong to be a life partnership, because the thing about it
Yes.
is people have a problem with not feeling like they own something.
Right.
Like owning something makes people feel strong,
Hmm.
but those are people who once again don't know themselves.
And that, right, just like I was saying, it's like they jump in without even finding out. You got to have those hard conversations. You got to have those arguments
Yeah,
here and there. You got to
get
have
to
that
the point
stuff.
where you know that it is not this other person's job to make you happy.
Right. And then people have that conversation and, well, I don't like this, or she too clingy and he's too
This and that.
aggressive. And, you know, it's just like there's those things come up and then now you want to, you know, get a divorce. And then in some cases, it just seems divorce is just so much harder than getting married in terms of signing this and what's this and what's that. And then the mindset of those people, they all are alike in a sense. You ever look at every marriage and then you look at the divorce and then you see the type of people who are getting married and divorced? They all have the same mindset that they were all selfish in the beginning. You know what I mean? They weren't.
They didn't go.
They
into
weren't
it for
actually
the other
going in-
person,
yeah, they weren't.
And they didn't come out of it for
Because
the other
they
person.
sitting at the other end of the table like, well, that's my chair. You can't have that one, so you can have them. I had to throw
the whatever.
yeah.
Crazy.
But I mean, yeah, it's just yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different ball game. Like 99.999% of all problems come from the fact that you don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't
We're
know
back
who
to that
you
again.
are,
See?
then everything is going to bother you.
Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, then you're going to be triggered by everything. Instead of knowing a trigger, it just shows a weak point within yourself. It's not
Right.
about what's triggering you. It's
Right.
about it's triggering you because that thing inside of you needs to be addressed.
And you will not find your life partner or your soulmate, twin flame, unless you are finding yourself and that other person stays there with you and supports you in that. Because that is a hard journey. Truly hard journey. And it really don't start until you turn 30. I'm just saying, it don't really start, you know.
Minimum.
Minimum, right? I mean, it's 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Just now starting
Yeah.
because their generation is different.
Yeah.
60s generation is different. You know what I mean? The boomers, right? And we go back to the quiet generation. I mean,
The silent.
it
you mean.
it is like, you know, so yeah, it when you'll know when you know that you know.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, whether you're married, like we're married, so legally we live in a world where the legal benefits of being legally married. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like there's nothing that pisses me off more than when you're in like one of those raggedy hospitals
Yeah.
and someone's like in there and then they literally discount who you are to this person. They'll have like a parent who they hate and hate each other, make all their medical decisions because they have blood relations.
Yep.
But the person they're with every day that knows them better than anything can't even come in the room because they're not married.
Yep.
I think that is the sickest shit I've ever heard in my life. That's
Even
why
something is even worse. You can't even get approved for certain like things like insurance and surgeries.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's things that you can't get done or that you need that will really help your life or help you live without getting divorced or not being married.
Yes, we've
That's-
heard.
that's tough.
Yes, it's crazy. Some of those little stories we've heard where people are like, "We have to get a divorce because if we get a divorce, then I'll get my benefits,
Yep.
and then the surgery will be covered."
Because
or
your individual
whatever.
benefits are a lot higher than when you're married. Because they stack on, not just double, like not just that individual and that individual. They add on like more than that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then the cost too on top of that. It's just a lot of little stuff. You
So
know,
it just shows you once again that marriage has nothing to do with your connection.
it has
your love or
nothing to
anything. It is
do.
100%
It's a
business
transaction.
transaction.
That's it. It always goes
And
back.
you know, you'll have the religious groups that come in and no, it's about God.
Oh,
Whatever.
you-
Moving right along.
That's a no. Yeah,
Um,
that's a no.
I acknowledge it and I move
Oh,
on.
man, I
'cause
would ask
I
you to do it
acknowledge
again,
only
but
because it exists and I move on.
you should do it one more
Since
time.
this is our podcast, we can say what we want to say. And you can take every bit of the connotation that is in there.
Yeah,
We acknowledge it and we move on just because it exists.
yeah. They do everything. Oh, this is tough right here. This is tough, but they do everything within religion because they know that you're there and you ain't going nowhere. So they do everything legally in religion because they know that you gonna go
It's
with
the
it
back end.
because religion is driving it.
Yes, because if you don't do it, then you'll go to hell. You know that whole thing.
But in reality, they just want you to do it so they can get you
Mm-hmm.
to do. But we're not gonna go there right now.
That'll be something maybe later on we talk about in our Patreon
Yeah.
after we set that up.
Yeah.
And we
yeah.
have our uncut
Yeah.
episodes. Because I will say I hold back 80% of what I really think.
No, she holds back probably like
I said 80?
no.
No, it's not more.
It's more.
It's not more.
I think you hold
I'm a
back
passionate person.
90%.
What's my natal chart? I am a Sagittarius sun,
Mhm.
Capricorn moon,
Mhm.
Leo rising.
Yeah. Okay. Lilith.
Thank you. Moving right along.
See, the nerds that's listening, they know what we're talking about.
What's your natal chart?
I mean, I'm just chill.
I
See.
said your natal chart.
I
don't care
know.
about your
My natal
personality.
chart is chill. It's balanced. Like I have, like
What is your natal chart?
I am. I
Oh my
am
God. There's no natal
You
chart.
got it.
There ain't no. I'm chilled.
No, what I mean is like
The point is you don't know.
No, I know. I'm talking about when I look at my chart, it's like the
You don't
little
know.
lines. The lines
You
be
don't
like,
know.
no, I do. The lines be like real, like even
What's
looking,
your sun sign?
and it's dope. It's dope.
What's your sun sign?
Well, I am a Scorpio,
What's your moon
but
sign?
I am an Aquarius also in the moonlight.
What's your rising?
My rising is a I am a
Like I said, you don't know.
no. Wait, hold on. I do know because
Mm-hmm.
I always
waiting.
get my rising and my whatchamacallit stuck mixed
Mhm.
together. But
Would you like me to tell you?
yeah, tell me because I know you had it.
Taurus.
That's right. See, because I knew it was connected to Ellie. I
Mhm.
knew that.
What's wrong with her is what's wrong with you.
Wait a minute. See, you see why she
It's our
just
child.
lured me in? You know what I mean? She
One
was
of
over
our
here
children. at least.
being,
Our second born.
mean and stuff.
I'm just being honest.
Hmm.
But that wraps up Twin Flame Energy for this week. Stop rifling through your pills and stuff.
No, I was.
Anyways,
Taking my-
why don't we head over to the Watcher's Critic?
You ready for that?
So,
All right.
we saw. You don't remember how much we saw because we saw a ton this
Okay.
week,
Okay.
and you'll forget. Okay, I'm gonna rifle it off to you, and you'll be like,
Uh-huh.
"Damn, we saw a lot."
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we watched The Nun 1 and 2.
We did.
See, I knew you were gonna be like, "Holy
See,
crap!"
yeah, because remember you was like, well, we didn't have that. What? Wait, we do.
We watched a ton.
Yeah.
We watched episode 1 of The Other Black Girl.
Yeah.
We watched
Yeah.
the first 3 episodes of Black Cake.
Yeah.
We watched Loki,
A lot of darkness.
and we watched Doom Patrol.
a lot of darkness.
All the good stuff. I don't like chipper
Look,
shit.
Doom, Loki,
You know I don't like chipper
nuns, and
Chipper shit makes me bored. And then I have a hidden gem because I saw. It's hard. I don't know how to say it because I know how I want to say it because I have a maiden name that is French.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to call it de Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember how they were saying it on the movie. So we're gonna
Mhm.
stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
The-
start with. Let's see what I'm starting with today.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it comes up for me to see it. Black Cake, which is my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's funny because you didn't think it was going to be a favorite, and then we watched it. First of all, Rotten Tomato is actually on point this time. They gave it 100%
Yeah. Yeah.
because it is that freaking good.
It's really, really interesting. It's really good.
Brief synopsis: someone named Eleanor Bennett loses her battle with cancer, leaving her children a flash drive that holds untold stories of her journey from the Caribbean to America. The stories shock her children and challenge everything they know about their family's origin.
Yeah.
Just came out November 1st, 2023. Some of the actors: Mia Isaac, Chipo Chung, Adrian Warren, Simon Wong, Bashi,
Mhm.
Lachey Anderson, Glenn Truman, oldie but a goodie. If you like Different World, and a lot of great movies and shows has come out. But it's on Hulu. Season 1.
Mhm.
In terms of the episode guide, I think there's only going to be 5 episodes total.
Mhm.
This is a book that was written by see, the name of the person is Charmaine Wilkerson,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Oprah is actually part of the team putting this out.
Yeah.
But the show's amazing. It was better than I like. Literally, we saw episode 1,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, let's
gotta
hurry up and
see
get
what
our work
happens.
out.
I
I
gotta
have
do
to continue.
And I'm
Like,
telling
you
you,
just
look,
can't stop watching.
every episode goes, it takes you on a whole nother journey. Every episode. Like,
It puts you
it's
in
crazy.
the story. Like, you feel like you're a part of it.
it
as you're
does.
watching
It
it,
does. It does.
And that's great storytelling.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
for me, on a conscious level, because that's one thing that we said we were going to do with this portion, with
Mhm.
giving conscious reviews.
Mhm.
So and we've kind of just gotten to the point where we just like talk about stuff and we're just like, oh, it's great, it's great, it's great. But
Yeah.
on a conscious level, to give this a conscious review, I definitely say this is not a skip, it's a watch. So
Mhm.
even if you watch just the first episode, just to see how it makes you feel,
Mhm.
it's something that everyone should at least give a watch to and give a chance to.
Yeah.
So on a conscious level, it's a thumbs up for me.
Bling. No, it definitely is. You know what I mean? It's so much that happens and that goes on. I don't even want to say much because
Spoiler.
it just it twists and turns, and then it's like, she really did that? You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. And then you're like,
Yeah.
but what you mean? You know?
I'm like, wait a minute, what happened?
You go through the journey with her, and I would say too, the actors are great.
Yeah.
They are
Not a lot of people
phenomenal.
who you like know from like everything.
You're right.
But I think that's what
Right.
makes it even better.
Yes.
'Cause I feel like sometimes when
Yes.
you have these big name actors, you sometimes
They
can't
get
disconnect
stereotyped,
from some of their other
Yeah.
roles.
and that's what a lot of actors have issues with.
Yeah.
And a lot of actors really, that's some of their like
Pet peeves.
self-esteem issues. Some of
Mhm.
their depression that they have
Yeah.
is being stereotyped.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, Robert Downey being Iron Man. You look at him, everything you're like, all right, that's Iron Man.
Forever, sorry.
That's Iron Man. And that's part of the thing that he
Mhm.
was talking about, is that that's a very serious conversation that we
Yeah.
gotta have for me to come back,
Yeah.
because that stereotype is Iron Man. I can't do
anything
me
else
anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though he's Iron
He
Man.
does whatever. It's always gonna be Iron Man.
But I mean, he's naturally that. Like, that's just
Who he
that's
is.
why he is so good at it, because he's
Mhm.
naturally that. But to portray other roles unnaturally,
Mhm.
to really find that
Mhm.
art inside and what he want to do,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? He has to not be himself.
Exactly.
And Iron Man is like close to home.
And that's why a lot of times people
You
pick
know.
a role that is like so like almost like they have to lose like 400 pounds,
Yeah.
be feeble,
Yeah, the
or
whale.
like they're doing something crazy
Yeah.
to break out of the mold of what they've been typecast as.
Right.
So you can see them differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, so Black
That's
Cake
great.
on Hulu. Definitely check it out.
Yep.
Next new episode comes out November 8th. And then the last episode that I think is going to be November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
We can slide Loki in here real quick just to recap on that. Because you really can't
said
say
real quick.
much
You said real quick.
without spoiling.
Yeah.
But it's been a phenomenal second season. We have one episode left.
I can't believe
that's
that.
going to close it out.
I literally I can't believe that this one episode. I can't.
This last episode almost was a situation where I needed to watch it twice, just because it was just so like multifaceted, and put you in a place mentally where you really have to be watching and use your whole brain in order to understand what you're seeing. Because the thing about it is, when people make shows like that, it's like it is visual art in a way where if you're not physically looking at all the layers that are being projected to you on a metaphorical level, whether it's the walls, the pictures on the walls, the coloring of the walls,
everything.
You'll miss something and then you'll be completely confused.
Right. The chair that he could sit in.
Yes.
You're looking at the chair. It's all that stuff that is unspoken.
Yes.
That really, really, really puts things into perspective.
Yes.
And for me, like if I'm not getting that in a show or a movie,
then I'm bored.
I don't feel like I'm getting any nutrition, any creative nutrition on that.
Yeah, we need nutrition. We actually
that's
look
just
for
what it
nutrition in our art.
And that's
art has to feed us, or it's a waste of our time.
And
then it's just a children's show. I don't give a shit if it's a bunch of adults. Adults are just large babies. So at the end of the day, if there's no nutrition, if there's no thought provokingness, if it doesn't make you either walk away and either like ponder about your own life or think about your own creativity, it's a show for toddlers.
And I have a good analogy for everyone. Now the analogy is kind of loaded, but think of a show like sci-fi, something like what we're talking about, something deep, something like going through different dimensions, going through different journeys, and all kind of stuff happening, and this and that is like nutritional, as to where things that just feel good, look good, sounds good, is just like you said, children's show. That's just like candy. It's just candy. No nutritional value at all. But you think that it's real because we're talking about, he's falling in love and the way that they fell in love together and this and that, but it ain't real. It's not real. So, yeah. Look at some of your art as, is it candy or is it not?
Yeah, at the end of the day, if it doesn't make you think, what is the point? So, obviously, for us, Loki is a thumbs up. Give it a watch.
Always. And I will say, too, Loki now, for me, is probably topping all the shows right now.
Yeah.
And what they're doing. And that's just for me. Like I said, this is what, you know what I mean? Because I'm one of those thinkers, like, I need 75,000 different things happening at once for me to just feel like, yes. You know what I mean? So that's for me. And as soon as it comes on, I'm like, did you see that? Look at that. Look at that light up there. Look at that. The game in the back. That's also up. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just losing it. I'm loving every bit of it. I can't say much, but yeah, it was.
But also keep in mind,
great, man.
Once again, within knowing yourself, because I'm a different kind of person too.
Yeah.
Where I know where I have the bandwidth to watch certain things at different times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be time to watch something deep, but if I know my mindset is not there and I know the frequency I'm in needs something a lot lighter, I will make that determination to not put myself in a position to be overstimulated when I don't need to be,
Right.
So.
And you have to identify your body. You have to identify your mind and know that Not right now.
So next show, we saw the first episode. It's only 20 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand. I don't understand who has a complete thought in 20 minutes. But moving right along, the show is called The Other Black Girl, and it's on Hulu as well. Hulu
Did you really
as
say
well.
that?
I did. It's considered a thriller. It's in its first season. Rotten Tomatoes giving it 85%, which I can get with that.
It's
The whole season has already played out. So this show came out September 13th, and it dropped all 10 episodes the day it came out, which is great. So because these episodes are 10 seconds long, we'll finish it going into the weekend and things like that.
Like tomorrow.
Give
be
a full
done.
review of the entire show by next week. Absolutely.
But based off the
It'll
first
take
episode,
a good 2 hours to watch all 10 episodes. But
if you like those shows where it's like I want to know what happened before. You know what I mean? Like you look at something and you're like,
I need to know what's happening before.
Man, like, okay, what happened? What happened? Like, because she's in the situation that somebody else was, and now it's like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? So you're asking so many questions. If you like shows like that, that's deep.
Because for me, I'll say this is the one thing I'll say about the show, and it's only been one episode, is that I feel like I could predict what's happening already. So all of the joy is going to come from what is the backstory. Because moving forward, I already know where we're going. It's a little bit predictable terms of, to me, in terms of where this is going to go. Yeah. So I want to hear where it came from.
Right. And I feel that the obvious thing that it looks like it's going to is actually more esoteric than we think.
Oh, absolutely. Because it does have like a spiritual realm aspect to it,
right?
Which is why.
And when that's brought in, that tells me, okay, it's something deeper going on. And I have this like real weird problem, and I know you can attest to that. Is that I can watch something for like 5 seconds. You already
know what's happening,
and I know exactly. And you don't know how to keep it to yourself.
I
do. I tell you. So... No, I tell you. I said, look, I don't want to tell you what I think. And then it's always correct. It's weird though. It's very, very, very weird. And
no one cares.
No, I'm not saying it like that. but what I'm saying is it's
So just good. A synopsis. Nella, an editorial assistant, is tired of being the only black girl at her company. So excited when Hazel is hired. But as Hazel's star begins to rise, Nella spirals out and discovers something sinister is going on at the company. A little bit more of that. Crab mentality. There can only be one black girl. That's, obviously. The second one comes and becomes self-sabotaging to the other because there can only be one, right? Some of the actors: Sinclair Daniel, Ashley Murphy, Brittany Ademola, Bellamy Young, which of course is from Scandal, Garcelle Bouvier, we already know her, Hunter Parrish, and Eric McCormick. Those are the main actors. So, like I said, Rotten Tomatoes giving 85%. I'm kind of on par with that. I think it's worth giving a watch to. It's not something that I feel like you're going to die if you miss it. Me personally, Black Cake, you're going to die if you miss it.
Oh, Lord.
I don't feel that this show is more of a preference show. If you got time to watch it, check it out.
Yeah, I mean, like, some people like that thriller, like, kind of aspect,
Okay, so let's move this along, get a little quicker. We saw, The Nun 2 just came out on September 8th. So, obviously, you can't watch a sequel without seeing the original. I had never seen the original, so we decided to watch Nun 1 and 2 back to back, to like a day apart. First thing I will say is very scary movies, okay? So, like, they're actual scary movies versus some movie, like, Saw is not scary, it's just demented. I've never seen it. Like, I don't have any interest in watching humans act like themselves and tear each other apart. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. I already know who humans are. And I already have my specific opinions. But this is more about, obviously demons and things like that. So, Rotten Tomato gives it 52%. This is the Nun 2 that we're talking about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to go back and see what it gave the Nun in terms.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, because I have thoughts. The Nun came out in 2018 and got a worse rating. It actually got 24%.
And then
I personally don't agree with Rotten Tomato.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like the first one is better than the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the second was a lot more forgettable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing both of them, everything that pops in my head
Mm-hmm.
came from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie was more like, we didn't need to do this again.
That's what you feel.
Just to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I will say this: there is aspects of the story that I like from the second one, meaning telling more of the story, more of like the origin, more of where it comes from, and then adding those few pieces of like, you know, that whole like, I don't know if you like National Treasure, that show or the movie, and it's like, you know, stuff like that where it's like, oh, we found the artifact, but this artifact was connected to why this and that, and we need it. You know, it added those elements to it. So depending on how much you like kind of that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? The sequel did give that. It did give that for sure. It did add a lot more action. And when I say action, I'm talking about like scary thriller action. Not so much like, you know, the first one was more like it revs you up slowly and then it just hits you. You know what I mean? But it was like little pieces that keeps, you know what I mean, popping in. So, yeah.
What I will say, and The Nun is old, so at this point you ain't seen it. I'm not spoiling anything. 2018. What annoyed me about the first one,
you probably about to say the same thing that annoyed me.
I just can't stand in movies when people are just dumb.
Oh my god!
It's like literally you are here, you're at this lovely, you know, Romanian mansion that has been like plagued with demonic activity. You physically get buried alive with no physical person there doing it.
That was
where grass is growing on top of you. You get saved from this. And you don't get the hell on. You continue to go back to the house because you just feel like you need to, I don't improve something.
You must. I must
I'm like,
do nothing
sir,
but
you were
leave.
buried alive in a coffin.
Right.
With grass.
I mean.
And the girl was able to find you and dig you up.
Right.
And that wasn't enough for you to be like,
that was
I'm going to
nuts
Switzerland.
in itself. Yeah. Like, no. Man.
So that enough was those kinds of things. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. And you going back for more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just to read the synopsis real quick. When a young nun at a cloister abbey in Romania takes her own life, a priest with a haunted past and a novitiate on his threshold of other final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate. Together they uncover the order's unholy secrets, risking not only their lives but their faith and their very souls. They confront a malevolent force in the form of a demonic nun. I do want to give a special shout out to Bonnie Aarons. She plays the demon nun, and her look is quite.
That's why it got what it got before. They might have. I don't care about the rating, but in terms of like
her look, man, that creepiness.
People went nuts for the first Nun, and that's why they got the second Nun. But I mean,
the look, like her just standing in the back of the room. All she got to do is stand there.
That's what she was doing. Half both movies.
She was just standing.
She was standing there, and you're like, "There she go! There she go! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
But then when she had the nerve to do the,
it just got worse. I was like, "How could it get worse?"
Like,
she played the crap out of that. I must say.
She's
but but you know, when you were talking about the synopsis and everything, like like the story, and it's just funny because it's giving like a lot of secrets of creating a religion around something that they actually created to be in a bad way. So that part, like I said, on the second movie, it goes deeper into, and it's really in there. So
This church is
so-
creepy. Period.
listen.
I don't care.
They
what
walk
church
in
you
like,
go to.
go to the back. We are in prayer. I don't know if I
Listen, sir.
really like. I'm not.
Listen.
I don't need to pray that bad.
We
I'm
good.
just saying. You know.
That's why.
Then
like,
the lady in the
scariest
front- in the
movies
middle-
be set in church.
She's like, "Are you the mother of this church?" And then she was sitting there the whole time until she just fell apart. I'm like, "What the heck? You been here that long?" You know, it's like, what? What?
Have you eaten?
We don't eat because we have to identify.
We must stay on our knees and pray.
I'm like, okay, all right. Let's move on.
Okay. So this week, what we plan on looking forward to seeing, The Marvels come out on Friday.
Yes.
New episode of Black Cake on the 8th.
Yes.
We'll finish up The Other Black Girl. We'll review that next week.
Yes.
And Thursday, the season finale of Loki. No.
Oh no.
But we have to see that season finale to take us right into the Marvels.
Into Marvels, yep.
So we'll be able
Yep.
to kind of like break
Yep.
down that and see, those connections.
Yes.
I'm going to take 3 seconds because I know the Watcher's Critic is always our longest segment
Mhm.
because it's the segment we care the most about. And bring up the Chevrolet.
Huh?
The Chevrolet.
Uh?
Once again, and only I saw this because, like I said before, I'm the one that ends up just watching just random movies. So, this movie is about the illegitimate son of an African slave and a French plantation owner. Joseph well, it's Bologna, but I don't know how to say
Oh Lord.
it. Rises
Bolognese.
Bolognese, yeah. Joseph Bolognese rises to an improbable heights in
it's
French
baloney.
society as a
Mr. Baloney, come on
celebrated-
over here.
Stop. As a celebrated violinist, composer, and fencer, complete with a love affair and a falling out with Marie Antoinette. So this is based on a true story because he is a composer of color that pretty much has been forgotten. It was crazy because, and I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but you know how they put a lot of the when the movie's going off and they'll have those screens where they're showing all these different things that are being said, and it's like crazy because it's like all of this happened in like the 1700s, and then after that I think Napoleon came in, reinstated slavery, and then all these different things happened, and then a lot of Chevrolet's work was like torn apart and like forgotten and things like that, but he was like one of the best violinists there was. Like the opening scene of this movie, he is basically giving it to one of my favorite composers, which was Mozart. He shows the shit out of him. Literally comes into Mozart's concert and says, "Hey, can I play with you?" And destroys Mozart to the point where Mozart has got such an attitude, you know what I mean? And he grew up in this, Caucasian society and found his place in the society and was, revered and loved and all these different things. But he got to a point where he started to forget who he was in terms of the fact that he was still a person of color. And then you get to the point where even though he's gotten to a high place, he wants to go higher, but he's reached the glass ceiling for people of color. And so then it's like, okay, you want to be that? Oh, no. You can't be that.
Right.
And that's where he starts to be reminded in many ways, like, you are still not one of us.
Yeah.
And then what I found really profound was that there is, at this point, you should have seen the movie. Sorry. There's,
Me?
no, people,
Oh.
the whole non-spoiler thing. But the movie did come out in April of 2023.
Yeah.
But there's a point where he's reunited with his mother. And it's kind of sad because it kind of spoke to something that I feel like is very prevalent in our world today, is self-hatred. And so the thing about it is, even though it's his mother that he hasn't seen since he was a boy, he has almost like a self-anger, almost like looking at her reminds him of who he actually is and who he is not. And so the thing about it is, because he wants so badly to be accepted in this Caucasian society, her being there is just a reminder that he's not one of them. And so he takes his anger out on her in a way where he just can't connect with her for a while. You know what I mean? And it's not until he comes to the end of himself, you know, with most movies, where and he connects with that part of him, that he really becomes who he's supposed to be.
Right.
But it just, like I said, when it speaks to the world we live in today, you know, self-hatred is the reason why most of the things that we see as a representation of what we call black culture is what it is. And it's mostly about basically getting rid of everything you don't like about you that doesn't resemble European standards of beauty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your hair to this, your this to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cover this up, cover that up. So there were moments of the movie that just made you like so emotional, because they speak to like this damage on a cellular level that we all have of as people of color, and how we truly feel about ourselves.
And that is
if you ain't doing your shadow work, you ain't gonna get through it.
That is a whole nother conversation,
whole nother
and a whole
podcast.
nother, you know, that will definitely be coming at some point.
And so I'll probably get some more information from that movie and bring it back up on a different podcast. But I just wanted to say, if you haven't seen it, Chevrolet, it is on Hulu right now, streaming. It is definitely 2 thumbs up. It's a must see.
Yeah.
And I think that's wraps up the Rap Watchers Critic for this week.
The
Which pretty
Rapper's
much
Critic
wraps up the podcast for the week. We always end with the Watchers Critic. So
oh yeah.
go see The Other Black Girl. Go see Black Cake. Go see Chevrolet. Go see Loki. And this week, hit up your local theater. Go see The Marvels. I can't tell you to go see The Nun 1 and 2, because if you don't like scary movies, I'm not telling you to go do that.
Go see it.
If you don't know who
I'll
you
tell
are,
you.
don't allow your consciousness to allow in some crap either. So, you know, do you. But yeah, that's all I have. You got anything?
Yes, and also go on all streaming platforms and capture the new Vapor song that just came out and released.
Which we'll play now.
As I Am.
And we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
True that is, and when you see me, know that I ain't even playing, cause the love that you can change my vibe. When I first met you, I saw forever. How you see me, I never thought it's more like me. I can feel the inner vibe inside. I know that you can change my life. You even know how you changed my life. Oh. As I am, see me. 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 As I am, you 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 see me. As I am, don't you just see me? Because you just see me as I am. Don't you just see me as side as I leave